How you doing, Ralfy? Ralfy Customs. We're kind of part two of this build that I've not revealed what it is. We made the headstock in the last video. In this video, we're going to make the pillbox style axle plates. So here's the jolly old headstock, still hot off the press to me. It'll be a little while for you. How hot is it? I might get some t-shirts done with how hot is it? Bastard hot that is at the top. Right, so this is what we're making. My patented pillbox, not snuff box, I guess that were a bit close to home. Pillbox axle, well that's a bit close to home. Pillbox axle plate doodahs. All the materials here and roughed out ready. And we've got a bit of the 10mm that I use for the actual axle plate bit of it, if you like. Set up in the milling machine on a couple of parallels with this 4 flute M-mill that we're just going to face the ends off and take it down to 100mm. Righto, so reaching around a bit, this is not in a good way. I'm just going to run my tool along this end. I could do with speeding this up a bit, to be fair. Really, just want to square it off. I think I will speed that up a bit. It's dreadfully fucking slow. Let's see where we're at. A little bit more than that, Ralph. There we go. Lock off the table. And away she goes. So just use the M-mill to square the end of this bar up. We can flip it around, do the same, and bring it down to length and speed it up a bit because that was going to take fucking forever. Sorted. I bet my head were in the way most of that. Here, like, there you go. Righto. So, this brings us down to 100mm. We did speed it up, so we're going steady away. I usually use a roughing mill for this, but for some reason I've elected not to this morning. Oh, this afternoon I should say. We're taking it steady away, and we are at 100.1. That'll do for me. Right, so we'll do the same with this other one. We could set up a stop to duplicate it, but I don't think we need to. Same with this one, and then we're going to weld them together so that we can cut the axle slot and everyone will behave themselves. Okay, a bit of handheld action for you as I try and explain what I'm on with. We've got that on parallels clamped in the vise, and we're using our edge finder to indicate on that back jaw, so we'll wind that out until it kicks out. Look, see, look, it's wibbly wobbling, look. Then we go nice and slow until it smooths out. It's hard to do with one hand, by the way. Right, so it's just coming up now. It'll smooth out, then it'll kick out. The kick good kicks out, look. So with 0, and then we do the same this way. Do a kick going, kick going. It'll touch that edge of that jaw, and then it'll smooth out. They'll kick out, and that tells us we're 45.6, and we're at the middle of 45.6. So we'll go in the old calculator, and we go 45 point, excuse me, 615, and we press divide by 2, 22.08. So we make that 22.08. Right, so 22.805, sorry, fucking 08, dickhead. 8. We're not splitting hairs over a micron, but there you go. And then we clear that off, set that at 0. And that is dead in the fucking middle. No lie, no joke. Now we do the same with the end. We wind it this way until we get a kick out, which is going to be difficult to film, so bear with. We wind it this way, make sure we're not on the tacks. It will smooth out and kick out. Smooth out. Kick out, it's just kicked out, look. So, we 0 the X. And then we can have this up out of the way. Turn it off, bless it. We know that that tip's 4mm, so we're 2mm will get us right on the fucking edge of that part. So we wind in 2mm. Come on, which is tricky again, one-handed. Bang on 2mm if we can, not bothered about a micron, or 5. Anyway, you get the picture. We get to 2mm. And then we will, come on you bastard. It never does it when you want to. Look, 2mm. Come on, no. We'll hit 2mm. We will hit, hey, that'll fucking do. We 0 that. Jesus Christ on a fucking bike. And now we're right on that edge. We're right in the middle. I know from my drawing that I need to be 28 from the end. Yeah, that's 16mm clearance, which will give us room for the socket that fits on if we go with a nut. And it gives us plenty of meat. Plus half of the diameter of the spindle, which is 25. Gives us 28. So we took that along to 28, like so. Come on, Babbitt. Bang on 28 if we can, please. Again, it's not easy one-handed. So we'll go to 28. 0 that. And that gives us the end of that slot. Then we can know we can move along 44mm, do the other one, and then I'll take one out in the middle, and we'll be using the fucking arbor. The annular cutter, sorry, arbor. So we'll get set up with that. I'll just say, obviously, the joys of the DRO is that if I have to fuck this out of the way to get the tooling changed, I can return exactly where I am without fucking about. I mean, you can read the dials, don't get me wrong. You could 0 off your dial and count how many turns and all that and make a note of it. That's not impossible, but that is by fuck a lot easier. Here we go then. So what'll happen is we'll break through one, and then the bit that we've cut out will spin and clog that up. And we'll have to clear it, probably. Sometimes we drop back in and we can fish it out. We'll see. So everything's locked off. We're running at 900, which to me is a bit quick, but 500 seems a bit fucking slow, so let's see how we go. Oh, they do like it hard and fast, please. Come here a bit hard and fast. Bit more lube. I'm hoping that plug comes out without too much fucking about. About there. There we go. So, because I've not left myself enough headroom, I'm going to have to drop the table to fish that out, and you're right in the way. But I'll fish that out and then we'll carry on and get the other bit drilled through. Righto. So we just dropped the knee down so that we could get that plug out. So hole number 1, oh, and hole number 2 I guess, if you're counting both pieces. Sorted. I do love these fucking annular cutters, they are outstanding. You just got to be careful not to cook them, like, don't let the chips get too blue. There we go. So, I don't know where that plug's on. Hopefully it's dropped down. It's not still stuck in there. So now we'll clean that off and we'll move it along 44mm towards you, going by our wonderful digital readout. I think I'm going to miss you if I do that, so stay there, hold on. Here we go. 44 coming up. A bit too far. Come back a bit. Just going to nip my gibs up just so it makes it easier to hit it bang on. Not that it's totally precision, there's lots of room for error, if you like. The tolerances are great on these, we just need a nice fit on the axle and to be nice and tidy. So there you go. Do the same again, drill that out, and then we'll hit one in the middle and clean it up and get a mill in, get an end mill in just to finish the sides of the slot. Get these holes drilled off camera. Yeah, look, I'm just in the middle now, and I'm just celebrating the little chips that are coming off instead of them big curly whirlies. Because we've got a slightly uninterrupted, not uninterrupted, we've got a slightly interrupted cut. Not interrupted enough that it's not formed a plug. Like so. So we'll have that. Come on. We'll have that away. Even me today, little pliers. Because it's not Stupid Monday yet. Righto, that's the carnage. That's the carnage over. Jesus Christ on a fucking bike. So that's that slot roughed out. As you can see, we've gone along. But basically, I hate that word. End to end, one in the middle of those, and then split the difference again. So we've had a few plunges at that. Now what we need to do is choose an end mill to clean up the edges of the sides of the slot. Right, I was fortuitous enough to invest in a brand new 18mm 4 flute. I could have gone a 2 flute, and I could have gone a bit bigger, but that is going to just go in there, Pt2, and dress that up, and then all we've got to do is size it out. I always get, this is another one where my arse twitches, a bit like doing these bearing cups. I'm never quite sure the way I like it. I don't know if I like them with using a small end mill and fucking off the radius, but my head went, well, that ain't right, Ralfy, because the spindle's round, it's not square, it don't look right. Structurally, there's no tin in it. But we're going to go with the shiny new Clarkson. It is a Clarkson as well. I might change the holder and put it in the Clarkson holder. Hey, it's like birthday, every day's like Christmas. Fucking brilliant. Let's get it cleaned off a bit better, get rid of the worst of this dross and fucking change my tooling.
Don't forget, folks, our Footstock stickers are now available in our Etsy store, link in the description below. Footstock, you know it makes sense.
Okay, stage 2 is the setup. We've got that shiny new 18mm 4 flute taken down on the quill so it hangs, its arse is hanging out a bit so we're nice and on it. And we have worked out, because it ain't rocket science, that the 18mm of that cutter needs to go 7mm bigger to make the 25 we want, which is 3.5mm each side. So we know we're going to hit a size at about 3.5 with a sanity check or two off centre. We've already drilled out to 24 with the annular cutter, so we know that that's a mil smaller. So if we go out to 3mm from centre on the old digital readout, yeah, then we won't be far off a clean-up pass. So that's what we shall do. We shall go around and conventional mill just to clean that up until we've got a nice size. We'll check our readings and we'll have a measure, and then we'll go from there. The magic number is going to be 3.5 plus and minus 3.5 from that centre that it's on now, that's 0. So it should be all cool. Okay, so we start at 0 on the X and unlock the Y if you're good idea. Let the dog see you have it. We're just going to find one of those peaks that are left. Should be about 2 3/4 from the end. And that's there, we're just touching at 2.8, so again, about fucking right. So 3mm is not a massive stretch of the imagination to be right for the cleanup. So hold on a minute, let me just go on my fucking digits in, get on my 3mm, which is there. Nice bit of lube, and send it this way until we hit 44. So, away she goes, Captain. Yeah, that's not quite fully cleaning it up. It can't be far off. Down to 44. which is there. And I'm going to come back at a quarter, another 10th out, because I do like the sanity check. So we'll come 3.25. There you go, you're just touching up. 3.175, let's try that. Oh yeah, that's better. 3.175, just a nice light cut. That leaves us a bit of meat on the bone. Anyway, that gets us nearly where we want to be with a clean up there, and we know that we've got a bit of meat left. So I'll do the same on this side off camera, and then we'll have a measure, and if my maths is correct, we'll be bang on the money at 3.5. Right, I put this 3.5 it is. We went 3.4, had a measure. We need, there it is. Come to 3.475, I'm going to. Bear with. Right, correction, 0.5 fucking 2. Give me one of them jobs. Which is there, look. Bear with. And away she goes. So just a very light pass, we'll go backwards and we'll do a spring pass back, and then we'll bring it out the other side to 3.52. Should be above your fucking altar. Let's take that down to the end, 44. Come on. And now we're across to minus, well, plus 3.52. 3.4. There we go, that was bang on. Get it loose. And send it. And that is very nice and clean. I didn't do the spring pass. I'll have a measure and go back if needs be. Very nice and clean. 25 mil slot. A little over won't be bad. Let's get the test piece in. Oh, a little tight still. We're going to need that spring pass, aren't we? No, it's not having it. I'll double check. It's nearly. Look, it's fucking nearly. So we'll go around again. I won't bother filming it. I'll spring pass it out to just get that extra little wiggle bit. And there we go. There's the slot cut. Yeah, nice fit, little bit of play, which is what we want. Need a little bit of wiggle room. So now we can look at separating these because they are matched. Yeah, everyone's a winner. And then shaping them and shaping these to go on the end, which will probably be next. So I think I'll split these. Then we'll face these to length off camera because I've not got my recording thing, as you'll know from the last video. I've just cleaned them up off camera. Same with that, which is for the cover. Belongs with those bits. I'll face these off, split them in half. You can join me back when we're looking at making that the right shape to take those halves. You'll see, if you've not seen it before, it'll make sense as you follow along like. Oh, sorry lathe fans, you had to miss out on this one because I'm waiting for my camera holder to arrive. I even stuck a chunk of swarf in the end of my finger, so you'd have caught that. Oh, I fucking did. They're not bleeding, they club it everywhere. Anyway, they're faced off to length and cleaned up. Now what I'm going to do is go over to the bandsaw and split these in half, and they will form the ends of the pillboxes. We need to tweak them in just a little bit. Once to cut, they tend to spring. And this is slightly undersized, but again, well within tolerances, you know. This is the important bit, and the fact that that's flat, really. The rest of it is just decoration. You could ride without it, but you won't be able to put the frame tubing on, but yeah, I'm just waffling. Right, with those cleaned up, it's time to slit them through. And fortunately, they just sit nicely on the bed of the bandsaw. And because they're both faced to exactly the same length, we can use his partner, the other one, as a packer to keep the vise nice and straight. So we cut it straight through where the seam was, although we did clean it up. We may as well use that to make a cut like, and then let it cut through the other side, and then split ready to be fitted in. Okay, they're cleaned up. Then what we need to do, because when we cut this it sometimes springs apart slightly, is we pop it in the old vise and give it a squeeze up and get it to bang on the size of the axle plate. Yeah, so now they fit this way. We could, what I used to do was square them off like this, tack them on, and then grind that up and fuck about, and then grind a groove out and weld it up, and then grind and sand it smooth, and that's a lot of work. So what I'm going to do this time round, I've made a file guide, these are called, but I'm not going to file it, at the right size to give us the end curves that we need. So with these plates all cleaned up, let's not mix these up, Ralphy. Yeah, feel like I'm doing a fucking pea in the cup trick. So with these plates all cleaned up, the deburred, everything's sweet, I'm going to put that on. I'm going to take these corners off and make them the right shape to accept those bits that I've done. If I had a better sander, if I had a better bench sander, then I'd just rip over to the sander and give them some of this action and do it. But I'm going to do it with hand tools. I'm going to, not hand tools, power tools like. I'm going to cut a chunk off with a cutting disc and smooth them out with a flap disc. And the file guide is a sacrificial part. If we end up hitting it, then it's no drama. We can clean it up and make it the next size down for the next job we need or whatever like. I've got a few. I have a few on the go on my little pile of helpful bits and pieces on my bench. So there you go, hot off the press, look, if it'll focus. I just chop the corners off with a cutting disc and then get them about right with that. And needs a new flat wheel in it, flat disc. And then it's over to the old fucking lumberjack. It don't know that it's not being used for wood. And we give that a clean up, and that is one end done in quite short order, to be fair. Far quicker than setting up the milling machine and the rotary table and fucking about trying to profile it on the other side of the curtain. And then we give everything a jolly good Scotch Brite wheel and a acetone wipe to make sure it's nice and clean, and then we just square that up in there, make sure that it's level on the end, yeah, and make sure that it's level on the side, and then we'll get Mrs. Tiggywinkle over and we'll give it 3 tacks, one near the end and one in the mignol. Flip it around and do the same. It's a little bit of a faff. If you thought someone who was an engineer and a bit clever at times, well, allegedly, I disagree. But there you go. It'd make a fucking jig or something, wouldn't you? For making these, but it's not happened yet, so who knows. Right, next up with those made is the infills for in here. We need little strips. These are 3mm and I've only got 5, so they're going to come in a couple of mil, which is absolutely fine. There's nothing wrong with that. It don't need beefing up, but if anything it would be doing that. I have just ordered in some 3mm, but I want to crack on, so what I've done is cut 4 blanks and I've just marked them out. I don't know if you can see, but I've marked scribe lines to give me the size that I need. The tolerances are massive, like it's not got to be super accurate, and just like you've seen me do with the axle plates earlier on in this video, I'm just going to square the end up, flip it over and face it to length, if you like mill it to length. So I won't bother filming that because this video is dragging out a bit and there's still quite a bit to crack on with. And there's one of them, look, set in place, ready for some ticky tacks, which again I'll do off camera because you've just seen me doing that shizzle. Okie fucking dokie. So put the welding helmet down. They are all tacked up now. That's the fab done on them, really. There's holes for the covers, top covers, and adjuster bits to go in. The adjuster threads, bolts. Ow. Go on, I'm going to say how what? How what do you think they are? I've just tacked them up and I've put a little bit of filler, dabbed a little bit of filler rod on the tops, on these ends, so that they'll flush off nicely. when it comes to fit the covers, which bastard up. So, which I'm going to make next. So here we go with these. We've got to split this. Oh, we need 2 of them. We've got to get another one of them and split it in half, and that'll be the bit that sits in there. We just have to open it out a little bit. You'll see, it'll all come together. So what I'm going to do is flash them off smooth on the belt sander, get rid of them little nipples that I've left, and then we'll flip them over, set them on that bit of 2-inch nicely, scribe round it, and then we've got a shape to make it, and from the scribe line as well we can work out where these have got to go. You'll see. Happy days. Okay, we're gathering pace. So the next thing is to line the main bodies up with these covers, and that's not too difficult. I'll cut them a little bit long so there's room, and then scribe around the ends so we can see where we're at. Then we can get that out of the way and use a shorter piece of the tube that we made the ends of to line up with that scribe line. It's hard to show on camera. And from there, those bits of tube that I just made another one of kind of go in there, kid. So what I've done with that is split it on an angle, rounded off one edge, and just splayed it slightly to fit that tube a bit better than it did. I don't have anything that's exactly right for it, so that's going to kind of go there. We'll hold it down and get a tic tac on it, and then do the same with the other end. This is a right fucking faff, I'll be honest with you. What I tend to do is clamp that plate down, which I've not done because I'm just demonstrating, and then go in with a third hand when everything's peachy, fuck that off out of the way and get attacking. Sorry, edit that fucker. I don't get the ring on and lift it up there. That would be silly, wouldn't it? What I do is draw around the inside as well and give myself an inside line to work to. Get it on there, tack tack, do the same that end, tack tack, and then try it on and see how it is. We don't mind if it's a little bit of plate. We don't want it super tight because these things often get painted, powder coated and all sorts of shit, don't they? So the grub screws will hold it where it needs to be. Happy days. And voila, if it'll come out. There you go. Quick clean up, quick polish of the edges because it was just a little firmer than I wanted it to be. You know, it's a bit of tiggy winkles, and I've just spun that round, haven't I? Spin that round. And there she blows, Captain. It's one cover. What we've got to do now is the grub screws and shape it. So we need to mark it for the M6 grub screws that are going to go through and press into those bad boys. And then we can get that fixed on and shaped to suit. Right, over those grub screw and adjuster holes, there's another grub screw hole marked. Put it bum, again, come in with the centre drill. Just want to get ourselves started so that we don't stray when we go take them out to the size that we need them. So just chip away with the centre drill, and then we can flip it over, blow the shit out of the way, come in with a square against the job, make sure we're square. Yeah. Same again for the next one. That way it's far less likely to wander because we're not on a radius there. Again, they need to fit themselves and look right. We're not talking about ultimate precision, but we all don't mind, you know. And now we're at the mighty Medins, where we can go through with a 5mm for the M6 thread. And we just want to go through the outer. You know, I can't tell. I can't fucking tell. I don't want to go all the way through that bit that we've just welded in. So I'll give it a good start, and I can do it when I separate them if needs be. So again, we'll flip it Go and get me square. Oh. Make sure that's square. Never hit anything with your square. You can knock them out of square. How many times can you say square? I think we're about there with that. And this one goes all the way through, so there's no dramas there. Like that. Then we switch this out to an 8mm to give us 8mm clearance for the adjuster bolt. And we need to make a little threaded boss. Then we're going to TIG weld in place there. And then we're fucking done. Just a weld up and a quick clean up and pops your fucking answer. So let's have this through here, look. Happy days. That's good, that's sorted. Let's go and tap them holes. Okay, so I'm trying to show you these grub screw holes that need tapping, and they just come through, I don't know what focus this is, into the cover. So I'll tap them. I'll pop that in vice and tap it M6 and deburr the other hole. No further action there, fucking that's Pt2. We just want a dimple, just enough for the grub screw to register in. It's good enough for me. And then obviously we've got to round these off, which I'll probably do off camera, because who wants to see a load of fucking grinding and sanding. Let's have a look at this bad boy. Oh, we've done it on this bad boy as well. Although the burr can make it a bit tight, we've just touched through and we've got the holes clear for the grub screws. Fucking sorted. I know, so we'll give ourselves a drop of the old rapid tap. Proper old school here. I did start off thinking I'd use the Martian spunk, but it's fucking messy. So anyway, just send this M5 machine tap into that, sorry, M6 machine tap into that, and that will suffice. They're only there to hold the cover on, and they only need a nip, people, if you're watching. Don't go bollocking these up like they're holding your fucking wheel in. Oh, now we have got one not quite gone through. There, like, so what we'll do, we'll use the old handheld milling machine and just take that through. That's alright. So same again, straight in with this machine tap. I know you like this bit, Dad. Make sure we're nice and straight to the job. Like that. And then just send it, because it's self-clearing. You don't need to worry about the chips trapping in the tap and making a gnarly mess of the thread or breaking it line. So there's your blows captain. And the final addition is a threaded boss to take the adjuster bolt, which I've just tigged in place there. So with those cleaned up, I've not done it on this one yet. There it is, ready to go on. With these ends cleaned up and held in place, don't worry about the damage there. I would recommend replacing with stainless when you build the bike up, because they'll rust in place. Yeah, there's just a weld and a quick clean up, isn't they, from being finished. I'll get this one on off camera again. I couldn't film the lathe work, unfortunately. It was a right fuck about, so I'm just waiting for that thing to come. And no, I'm not making one, because it'll take, it's prohibitively take too long. I'm too busy for that shit. The last one lasted a couple of years, so we'll be all right. I'll get this other one on here, and then maybe do a time lapse. I'll put some corn out on the roof and see if we get some pigeons come by and get them to drop in and do this welding for me. And here we go. I've just took the thumbnail. How long are they? They're still up. I've just passed them over on the wire wheel just to clean all the fluff off. Not that there was a lot of fluff, but there you go. There's your 25mm slot, your adjuster, your covers, bastard, with the with the grub screws. One will go one side, one will go the other side. Headstock at the front. So there you go. Those are pillbox axle plates made, welded, cleaned up, ready to rock and roll. It just leaves me as always to say thank you for watching. If you like what you see, give me a thumbs up and a sub. Check out all the bump in the description below, and I'll catch you on the next one, everyone. See you later, everyone. Big love.